Hi, welcome back. Today we are going to make an oatmeal sweet potato breakfast bake. This is a make ahead breakfast, so this is something we'll prepare in advance so that way we can have a grab and go breakfast later on. If you are making it for breakfast today, I do suggest having a little bit of a snack or something beforehand just to hold you over because this will require some prep time. Before we get into what we're going to need for today, I am going to preheat my oven so we can roast the sweet potatoes. We are going to set our oven to 425 degrees. Now that we have our oven preheating, let's get together some of our ingredients. As you can see, I have my cutting board out here. Just any flat surface is fine. First, we're going to need 3 medium sweet potatoes. It's totally fine if you have 2 large sweet potatoes or if you want to save a little bit of time and have the pre-chopped cubed sweet potatoes from your grocery store. We'll put some pecans in there for some extra protein and fat. 2 eggs, brown sugar, vanilla extract. We're going to want to spice it up with some nutmeg and some cinnamon, a little bit of salt, baking powder, about 2 cups of milk, and the star ingredient, about 3 cups of oats. I use old-fashioned oats. Whatever you have on hand is fine. I do caution against using instant oats. I think that the liquid ratio will be a little different than this recipe, and I think cook time might be impacted. So if you can use some old-fashioned or rolled oats or whole oats. Now that we have all of our ingredients together, let's prepare the sweet potatoes. So I'm going to rinse off my sweet potatoes. And you're going to want to dry them off. Okay. Now that you have your rinsed off sweet potatoes, I recommend taking a fork and just stabbing it, breaking the skin, maybe like 3 or 4 times per sweet potato. Because we are doing that, we are going to want to have something under our sweet potato or covering our sweet potato in the oven, because as it bakes, some of the juices might start to come out and we don't want to get that in our oven. What I'm gonna do, and this is how I like to bake my potatoes, but you're welcome to do it on aluminum foil or parchment paper lined pan, or you can do it this way. So I'm gonna take my aluminum foil and I'm gonna put each individual potato in there separately and cover up. Now that you have your sweet potatoes in aluminum foil, we are going to place them in the middle rack of your oven, and we're going to bake for about 30 to 40 minutes. What I recommend doing around the 30-minute mark is take a fork and poke your sweet potato to see if the texture changed at all. We want it to be kind of like a more mushy texture, so that way it's easier to mix. If you're unsure doing it with a fork, you could also take an oven mitt. Let me see here. You can also take an oven mitt and use this part of the oven mitt to actually grab the sweet potato out of the oven and just kind of see for yourself. Does it feel like it's easy to move? Did the fork go in and have a hard time coming out, or was it easy? So anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes. And as we wait, we will mix together all of our other ingredients. You are going to want to get a large mixing bowl so that way we can mix all of the ingredients together. You're also going to need a 9x12 baking pan. If you have more of a square 9x9 or even a round pan, that's also okay. The bake will be a little bit thicker, which might even be to your preference. The last thing you're going to need is a spatula to stir it all together. Now that we have everything together, let's start with our 2 eggs. We're going to need 1/4 cup brown sugar. We're going to need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon of both ground nutmeg and cinnamon. Want to get in a good amount of salt. Next, a teaspoon of baking powder, 2 cups of milk, and the last thing before we add our sweet potato is 3 cups of our oats. Now we can mix it together. It should still be a little watery because we are going to add some of that sweet potato. I have my cooled off sweet potatoes. You can see from the texture of these that they have more of a mushy consistency. You're gonna wanna slice through the middle of each of these sweet potatoes and then scoop out the middle and add it to our bowl. So this is the part of the video where I didn't realize that my microphone died, but as you can see, I am slicing the potatoes down the middle, not quite all the way through, but it's also okay if you do go all the way through, because then you're just gonna wanna take a spoon and scoop out the insides and add them to your bowl. This is also the time where we're going to want to add in our pecans. So about a cup of pecans is fine. Look at me, I had no idea the mic was dead. So now you'll want to make sure you mix them all together. You want the ingredients to be pretty well combined. As you can see here, I'm breaking up some of the sweet potato parts, but also leaving some chunks. Once you have the mixture combined, you will want to reduce the oven temperature to 375 degrees to prepare for our bake. Okay, now that we have our mixture together, we are going to want to grab our baking pan. To the baking pan, you're going to want to grease it. I just used a simple oil spray here. Then you'll take your mixture and put it into the pan. Look at that concentration. Spread it evenly. You want to make sure you get the mixture all into the corners, just like that. Now we'll put it in the oven. After about 45 minutes, your bake should have nice browned edges and it will be ready to take out of the oven. This is the final product. I'm going to sit and let it cool, and then once it cools down, we are going to cut it up and serve it. Now that we've given it a few minutes to cool off, we're going to want to make sure that the pan is cool to the touch, and then you can start to cut. I would probably say that this makes about 6 different squares. So I'm gonna do a third on each side. And then you can grab a spatula or a fork and you just kind of get into the edges. Peel up from behind. So you wanna loosen up some of the edges. And then voila. Now that you have your piece, you can wanna go ahead and plate it. Amazing. And I usually like to add some fruit, whatever we have in the house. Today I have 2 little mandarin cuties. Sometimes I find that I need a little bit more than just 1 square for a meal. So depending on how you're feeling that day, you could always just cut another square in half and add that to yours as well. Here's our plate. Now for the best part. So good. It kind of reminds me of like holiday Thanksgiving sweet potato casserole. It's got such good flavor from the cinnamon and the nutmeg. And what I really love about this is that it's gonna pack a big punch. It's going to be really filling, and it has so many good nutrients coming from the oats, the sweet potatoes, the pecans, and then whatever else you add to it. It's just gonna be a nice and easy meal. So let me know if you try it out and what you think. If you have any questions or comments, as always, feel free to leave them below. And then I will also link some of the things that I used today in the description below. So if you need any recommendations for different baking pans or oven mitts, I will link those below to hopefully make that a little bit easier, or to at least give you a place to start. For now, I hope that you enjoy your breakfast, and I will see you next time.